Hey everybody, welcome to my new show, Rock is Saved. I'm East Coast Pete, and this one's about the Damned. English rockers formed in London in '76 by vocalist Dave Vanian, guitarist Brian James, Captain Sensible from Only He Would Know Where, and last but still last, Rat Scabies on drums. Arguably the first English punk band. Like other pre-punks and punk pioneers, the Damned were hard to put into a genre. Their first single was New Rose '76. And the first album, Damned, 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 was released in '77. There were 9 singles that charted in the UK. The next album, Music for Pleasure, was a critical disaster, causing the band to break up, but they quickly reformed without Brian James. In 5 more albums through the '80s, the band evolved into a goth style. Captain Sensible was no goth. He left 2 years later, but he returned, and James also returned to play what was supposed to be their final show and live album, Final Damnation, but they reformed in '91 to tour, and by '95 they released another studio album, Not of This Earth. Rat Scabies was peeled off. Captain Sensible insisted that he go. It was the sensible thing to do. New drummer Pinch came on, along with keyboardist Monty Oxymoron. Excuse me 1 second. Damn voice. Damn it, I'm dying. Before they were the Damned, they were masters of the backside with future pretender Chrissie Hynde. Other members would later be involved in The Clash and Generation X. Sid Vicious was invited to sing for the Masters, but he blew off the audition. Dave Vanian did show up, and he got the post. Think of what could have been. Sid might still be around. No Nancy. In other words, Sid could have said, "Well, I'll be damned." Chrissie Hynde would not be. She returned to her favorite hangout sex, Malcolm McLaren's Boutique. This was the nest of the Sex Pistols. The Damned, as they were now, opened for the Sex Pistols at the 100 Club. The Damned were adopted into the London punk scene. I was going to say nascent. The single New Rose, backed by a cover of Help by the Beatles, was released 5 weeks before the Anarchy in the UK album, and that made the Damned the first punk band to release a single in the UK, unless you count the Trogs as punk. A tour formed. The stage would be shared with the Sex Pistols, The Clash, and Johnny Thunders, and the Heartbreakers. Malcolm McLaren kicked the Damned off of the tour, probably because he thought they upstaged the Sex Pistols. After their first album was released, they opened for T-Rex on their final tour. The Damned were also the first Brit punk band to tour the U.S., and the Ramones are given the credit, but the Damned certainly had a hand in starting the punk scene in L.A. and beyond. Lou Edmonds was added as a second guitarist. This lineup tried to recruit Syd Barrett to produce their next album, but Syd wasn't having it. They settled for Nick Mason. The album Music for Pleasure was a flop. Looks like Syd knew something. Rat Scabies quit. He was replaced by future Culture Club drummer John Moss. Rat Scabies formed a band called Les Punks with Vanian, Sensible, and bassist Lemmy Kilmister. Captain Sensibly moved over to guitar. Lemmy didn't stay for long. He was replaced by Alison Ward, formerly of the Saints. Vanian was now a full vampire, a crooning vampire. He had always dressed meticulously. Now he had two-tone hair in a high combed-back wave and black tuxedos. Their cover of Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit took on an even more dire presentation. In the next album, Machine Gun Etiquette, got positive reviews. The Black Album was 3 sides new studio tracks, and the 4th side was live. In 1981, Friday the 13th, a 4-song EP featured a cover of the Stones' Citadel from their Satanic Majesty's request. Imagine that. Captain Sensible had a solo single, Happy Talk, go to #1 in the UK. Without the Captain, the Damned recorded as Naz Nomad and the Nightmares. Woo. In 1994, the Damned made a live appearance on the BBC television show The Young Ones, performing their song Nasty. This was a way for many new fans to first catch a glimpse of the Damned, and their popularity continued. But Captain Sensible left to pay attention to his solo career, and Video Nasty is my favorite Damned song. The Damned signed with MCA. The album Phantasmagoria went in 1985. A single, Grimly Fiendish, charted at number 21. A non-album single, Eloise, went to number 3. And a bio about the Damned also was released. The Book of the Damned. In 1990 through 95, the Damned would break up and reform twice. In 93, Guns N' Roses covered the Damned's New Rose, and Offspring covered Smash It Up for the soundtrack of Batman Forever. Both covers had success, and another generation would be damned. Unfortunately, this meant metalheads, not goth. Black metal was not yet huge, but cauldrons were bubbling in Scandinavia. Fast forward, in 2008, they released their Download, their 10th studio album. So, who's paranoid? They toured with Motorhead on the UK leg of their world tour, and Lemmy was still a Damned fan. In 2012, they toured South America for the first time, and who knew that South America could be damned? It's like Catholic reference. 2012 saw Evil Spirits album go to number 7 in the UK, and it was crowd-funded through Pledge Music. It's an app. They are still touring as of 2019, and the lineup is Dave Varian, Captain Sensible, Monty Oxymoron, Pinch, and Paul Gray on bass. Certainly one of the most original, if mischievous, bands we've seen. Never fully punk, never fully goth, not heavy or even medium metal, not death metal, not snotty pop. The Damned are their own animal. How about hipster goth? Thanks for being with me on my new show, Rock is Saved. I'll be back shortly with another segment. I'm not sure who's going to be there yet, but we'll find out. Take good care.